You are listening to Chapter 3, Lesson 6 of Form 3 Cameroon History. Cameroon General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. The administration of Cameroon as a mandated territory under the League of Nations. Cameroon ceased to be the colonial property of Germany after World War I, which ended in Cameroon in 1919. The territory was placed officially under the control of Britain and France, following the provision of the Versailles Treaty on June 28, 1919. The territory was administered under the supervision of the League of Nations. Britain and France were expected therefore to react to the terms of the mandate. How Cameroon became a Britain and France mandated territory. Cameroon was a former German protectorate before the outbreak of the war. Germany became involved in the war and Britain and France extended the war to the German protectorate of which Cameroon was one. Britain and France were unable to establish a joint administered. Cameroon was partitioned between the British and French. British took 1/5, the French took April 5. The Anglo-French partition was formalized in March 1916. In April 1916, both powers redraw to their respective areas. On June 28, 1919, Germany signed the Treaty of Versailles. Cameroon was officially lost to Britain and France. The Anglo-French partition of Cameroon was officially confirmed by the League of Nations in 1922. Cameroon thus became British and French mandated territory. Why Cameroon became a British and French mandated territory? Britain and France jointly contributed to the defeat of the Germans from Cameroon in 1916. Britain and France had no intention to return the territory back to Germany. Britain and France had failed to establish a condominium and had partitioned the territory. German colonial record had been bad. The League wanted better administration of the former German colonies. To promote rapid social development such as the establishment of schools to reduce ignorance, hospitals to improve health standards. To promote economic development such as roads, bridges, railways to ease movement, promote agriculture in Cameroon, etc. The desire of Britain and France to make economic gains, such as markets, extraction of raw materials, etc. To prepare the territory for self-government, since the British and France had colonies close to Cameroon. Britain and France were permanent members in the Council of the League. They used their influence to secure Cameroon as compensation for their war efforts. Terms of the British and French mandates in Cameroon. They were responsible for peace, order, and good governance in the territory. To allow freedom of worship. They had to promote the material and moral well-being and social progress of the inhabitants. They were to suppress all forms of slavery and the slave trade. They were to respect native laws and customs. They were to prohibit all forms of forced labor. They were to protect the natives against fraud and forced labor contracts, to be carefully supervising the recruitment of labor. They were to respect native land rights. To exercise strict control over the trade in arms and ammunition, and to ensure the security of all nationals in the state. They were to submit annual reports to the League of Nations.